Someone left that behind? Yeah. Shit! Hello YouTube, this is Lithium Fire 03 here, and today we're going to be showing you how to use the Sculker sensor in the Minecraft world. We also have several Redstone innovations that we have for our Minecraft city. So we're going to go into the Redstone innovations first here, where we focus on the item transportation system. So in the past we've used a Redstone repeater clock like so to transport items along the line. Typically in our city it's about a 200 radius block, but nowadays we're using a Redstone comparator clock, which is much faster than the old system. So this is very good when it comes to the AFK farms. So on the left here we got the white wool, and on the right we got a block of redstone. When we destroy this block here, this will have the items flow outwards. We're going to test how quickly this guy moves. Okay, so we have a pretty simple design, redstone wire with a repeater so that the signal can be extended, and then this is going to get deposited over here. So right away we can see that the comparator clock is much faster compared to the old system here. It's about 2 times faster. So we've been using this guy more often. In a previous video we used this guy in a firework crossbow traps. So pretty simple design. You put a signal across here and then a redstone torch in the back. You may have to have this guy about 3 blocks away from your first unit so that it can be registered, but those are essentially the components that you're going to use. Very simple stuff. Okay, so over here we have the vertical elevator where the items do go up. In the past we used these alternating blocks with the redstone torches and this clock over here, and then with this guy we're going to use an observer tower. So it's about 3 lines here. This guy goes out here and then vertically upwards, and then this guy, that one, the red dot is facing the dropper line that goes all the way up. Okay, so let's activate this guy here, and then we're going to see which one goes up quickly. Okay, so right away we see the one on the right. It's the faster object, and it's spitting out more items than the previous one. So let me show you how to build that guy here. Basic component. So you're going to have the face, this facing the wire. It stretches out from here. You're going to get the dropper line pointing upwards. And then from here, we're going to do this in units of 3. Going to jump upwards. Going to have this facing forward. And then dropper again goes all the way up. So this should be arrows facing upward. This guy facing here. And then all of these arrows pointing towards the line. So with this guy, you may have to refresh this system every now and then, but it's a pretty simple one to make. Okay, so let's get into the skulkers here. I'm going to turn up the blocks so that you guys can hear. So with this guy, we know that with the wool, it can block the signal, but these sensors can detect activity within 9 blocks, and that is used to summon the warden. With the comparator positioned here, what it does is that it sets up a system where you can see which movements or which player activities makes the signal. So signal strength of 1 all the way down to 15. Moving within the sensor gives you a signal of 1. This one is the bats. And then some of the other ones. We're going to demonstrate this guy here, swimming. Number 4, Elytra, hitting the ground. That's a common one. Block change. Something as simple as that. Drinking, flint and steel, shooting. Next one, eating, feeding items, hitting. Cripping, shearing wool. This one's a door close, button off, dispense affair. You get to see a picture where there are multiple interactions in the game that the sensor can pick up. So with all of these triggers, it can be very difficult to design skulker traps in the game, but we're going to show you how to do that later on. And then with all these triggers here, there's a specific reason why there are no animals or no mobs in the deep biome, because a lot of things can trigger this guy over here. Okay, so moving here, we're going to show you the three-dimensional detection on these guys. So this is going to power up the redstone lamp up above and to the left. Comparator with a solid block will carry that signal outwards. If we put wool all the way around this, it won't detect the signal. But if we break the blocks below it, that's going to give off a signal. If we jump on top of it, that will give off the signal. So the only way to stop the signal is to put 6 wool blocks all the way around this guy, so that none of that can be triggered. Okay. Another feature here is that with the sensor, it can be waterlogged so that it doesn't give off any noise. That's a very important feature here. They even show that in the temple complex with those street lights. Over here we have some of the more complicated interactions between the Skulker sensors and with the redstone components. Being able to get that signal to carry across solid blocks. Doesn't do that with redstone repeaters as much. And then some of the other interactions that we find interesting, using redstone lamps to test those functions. Okay. So with this guy here, there's a lot of things can trigger the sensor. Some of them that we haven't even shown yet. Shooting, hitting something. Yeah, all that stuff here. So when we're doing research on this, we notice a video by Todd13Plays. It's very informative. That shows us how to use this contraption here to create filters. So basically you got a comparator moving outward from the sensor, and then on the side we have a comparator that's on a different setting. this one's in subtract mode. So what happens is that there's going to be a signal over here that's going to block out all the signals that are less than this value. So this value here is 12. Let me double check that here. Very good. So what does 12 do? So anything that's 12 and below, those guys get blocked. And then 13 and above will be picked up. So what this guy has developed is a redstone signal over here that creates a high filter that's going to block off 14 and 15 by putting these redstone repeaters on the side. So we said breaking blocks will trigger this. I'm going to show you this with wool. And then we're going to do this with a regular block. Alright, so let's make sure we don't make any noise. And then there we go. That creates a signal. Okay, very good. So we found that using water bottles in the game is one of the easier things to do when it comes to creating these guys. Just very easy to fill it up in your inventory and to put it down. Okay, I believe that's it here for the video today. We showed you some of the basic components of the Sculker sensor on being able how to use it and manipulate it so that you can create those Sculker traps that we showed you at the beginning of the video. You can use this for other components in the game. It's a little bit more tricky because you have to use filters. You got to be aware of all those different mobs that could spawn in and trigger the device. Any redstone contraptions in a loop can also trigger it again and again. And then we also showed you several of the innovations that we're using for an item transportation system, using the dropper lines and then the observer towers over there. So a lot of new things to understand here, but of course we do have other YouTube videos here. If you're interested in our channel, go ahead and check it out. We do occasionally produce videos here, but that should be it for the sensor. We're going to take a look to see if there's any new and interesting improvements on this design. But thank you for watching the video, guys, and have a good one.